Good morning, everyone. This is Miss G, and I'm going to do Miss G Makes a Cool Pot. The first thing we have to do is just take a small little piece of clay, roll it into a small ball, and this will be our base for our cool pot. Now, just have a real small ball. Then I take this and I roll it flat. I turn it and roll it flat again. Okay, and this is a pretty good size. Now I want more of a circle, so I'm going to take my needle tool and I'm going to cut it out to be a nice circle. It's not a perfect circle. It doesn't have to be a perfect circle. It's just going to be a circle to start with our pot. It needs to be about 1/4 of an inch thick. Okay. Now I take the rest of my clay and I'm going to roll out some coils. I start them out like this, try to get it about the same shape just between my hands. Then I put them on the board and I roll back and forth evenly, front to back, 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 front to back. You don't have to get them super long. Okay, see, this is not consistent, so this is kind of thin, so I'm going to roll out this side just gently to get it a little more even. You want to get them as even as possible. Okay, now I have a nice coil about the size of my finger. I'm going to roll out a couple more just so that when we get started, we'll be going. Here I am rolling it out again, rolling it out, going back and forth, basically using this part of my hands. I've got my hands out flat like this and I'm just rolling. Okay, it's not that hard. Okay, and once again, about the size of my finger. Maybe not quite as bad, but some people like to say pencil size. That works either way. Okay, now I'm going to take my base, put it down, and I'm going to take this needle tool and I'm going to score the edges. Really want you to be able to see this, so I'm going to score the edges. That's just, scoring is just making marks onto the clay so that when we put something on top of it, it will stick. Okay, see, I'll put little marks all the way around my piece on my base. Now I'm going to take the slip. This is just clay and water. It's kind of the consistency of mud. Okay, I'm going to take my slip, gooey, and put it on the places where I have scored on my base. So this is called scoring and slipping. And whenever you want to put two things together, you always score and slip, or they won't stay together. Okay, I'm going to put this behind here and see if I can hold this up so you can just see it a little bit better. Okay, now I'm going to take my first coil and I'm going to put it right on top of the base. And I'm going to wrap it around and I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to keep going. Okay, when my coil runs out, I'm just going to make sure it's on here real good. If there's a place that you see a little light coming through, you can take just a piece and put it on. Now, what I need to do is I need to take this part and make sure the base and the coil are connected. You want to blend the clay in. So I'm going to leave it on this board and I'm just going to kind of push it down until I start getting a smooth spot. You can even take a little piece of fresh clay and make a tiny, tiny coil. See how small that is compared to this? And stick it on the inside and then blend it. It just depends on how you want to do it. I do it both ways, but you make it where it's blended. I'm going to continue doing it this way. just because it's extremely important you get this first one blended and stuck to the base. Many times people's pots, they dry out, and when they pick them up, they fall off. You do not want your base to fall off your pot. Okay, see how that one's not smooth. Let me get it smooth. Put a little more right in here. Put a little slip on there and smooth it. Okay, you almost can't tell now that it is a coil pot from the inside. I like to have the coils smooth on the inside and the coils to show on the outside so that you know you're actually making a coil pot, or when it's finished you can tell it's a coil pot. Okay, smooth on the inside, coils on the outside. All right, what I'm going to do next is there is a place right here where it's lower. So I'm going to take my last coil, put it out a little more even, and I'm going to start putting it in water. Now you don't have to score quite as much now, but you just have to be sure you connect it well. Okay, so I'm going to put it right there where that other piece stopped, and I'm going to go around and around and around and just keep putting it on there. Okay, and I like to just tap it a little bit to make sure it's on there good. Okay, now if you see, I've got a little beginning of a rough kind of pot. And you can see the coil, so what I'm going to have to do now is I'm going to take it, I'm going to take my finger, and I'm going to smooth it. Can you see what I'm doing? I'm just taking it and I'm smoothing it on the inside. So that's what I'm going to do for just a minute. This is an important process. You don't want those rings to fall off. They will. I'm just, and see how I hold it with one hand? I hold it with one hand and press it down with another hand with my other fingers. That way it doesn't push it out. So you support it. And I'm going to show you the inside of this one before we start making more. Okay, see how it's kind of smooth? It's not perfectly smooth. You can work on that as you go up. But you want the inside to be smooth. The inside must be smooth. The outside, I want the coils to show. Okay, looking like a pot. I'm just kind of shaping it as I go. Now I need to make a couple more coils. You know, it doesn't take a whole lot of clay to make this. So you don't have to have a huge chunk of clay. That's a little big. Roll it out, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I've been rolling coils for many years. It's sometimes more difficult than it looks, but if you ever played with Play-Doh, you can probably do it. Okay, about the size of my finger. I'm going to roll out a couple more, just so that I'll have enough to kind of finish this pot off. Now this pot might take you a little bit longer than it takes me because I've done it so many times, but you can do it. Just take your time, be patient, enjoy the clay, get your hands dirty, enjoy it. Okay, all right, I've got 3 going. I've got 3 done. So now I'm going to pull my pot back over here. I'm going to put it in the slip just to make it stick better. I'm going to find a low end and I'm going to put it right there, close to that one. Smooth it down, smooth it, nice seam, blend it. And I'm just going to lay it on top. Just going to lay it on top. Okay, now if you want a pot to go out and flare out, you just simply take a coil, dip it in the water, and if you want it to go out, you place it on the outside of the pot or the coil below it. See how I put it on the outside? And shaping it as I go. Okay, I need to smooth the inside again. That's something you're always going to be doing, is smoothing that inside. Smooth that inside. You take a little piece. It's time consuming, but you'll have a beautiful little pot when you're done. Okay, I'm adding extra clay to it. Pinch of clay. Okay, see what I'm doing? I'm just taking a pinch of clay and I'm smoothing the inside. I want that inside to be nice and smooth. So you do that all the way around again. Okay. Put a piece here. If you see light coming in, you need to put some clay in there. And once again, you see how I'm placing my hand here to smooth the pot so that I don't press it too hard and make it go out of shape. Okay. For your first bowl today, I just want you to do it about hand height. So that's, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches, about hand height. So I just have a few more coils that I have to put on, but I've got to continue smoothing the inside. Smooth the inside, smooth the inside. Okay. See how it's looking on the inside, nice and smooth. Okay. Right here's a good spot where I have a one that ended. It ended here, so I'm just going to smooth that part. Then I'm going to take this next one and put it right there. Right there, so it kind of stays the same height. It doesn't get too far bent out of shape or too out of whack. You can kind of eye it and see if it's getting too far out of shape. Okay. Now I've got to smooth the inside again because you're constantly smoothing the inside. But there is just a small bowl, and you can see that this side is thinner than that side. So I'm going to put another coil on this side to try and even it up. You know, now some people make bowls purposely where they're off. You know, if you've ever been to Nuke's, that restaurant, they serve these salad bowls that sit kind of sideways with one side up. You know, if that's the way you want it, then that's fine. But if it's an accident, let's try and keep it more even. Okay. See, I need to add another coil on this side, and I'm probably going to stop here because I think you get the idea. Even though mine's not quite as tall as I want you to make it. It's about almost that big. Okay, here's my next coil. I'm going to put it right here where it's low, and I'm going to bring it all the way around to this spot where it gets to the right height again. I'm going to take my piece and smooth it out. I'm going to smooth this part out. Shaping it up. And then all I really have to do is I just have to work on the inside, smoothing it out. Okay, final thing that you have to do, don't forget to do this, is turn it over. It'll be all right. Put your name, first name, last initial, and the block. Turn it back over and just take your extra clay and smooth in the small little parts. Make sure none of the coils show on the inside. Coils can show on the outside. If you see a spot where there's a little bit of daylight, let me see if I can see that spot right there. You need right there. You need to put clay there and make sure there's no sunlight coming through. So basically when you finish this and you've got it all covered with smooth lines, like in here, you shouldn't have any lights. All right, oh, I see one over here. I've got to put some more here. That is it. Enjoy making your clay pot with coils today. This is a coil pot. Have a good day.